Hello, hello, hello. I'm sorry I'm late, but here I am, Julius Freeman, talking comics in our live edition of this series that I talk about, well, comic books. So hopefully you guys are doing well out there and staying safe and making sure that everything is a-okay in your side of the world. And I hope that whatever it is that you're doing, you are successful at it and that you will eventually meet your fortune in the case that it does. So today is Wednesday, December 2nd, I shouldn't say December 12th, December 2nd, 2020. We are in the midst of great things, right? Well, depending on who you ask, it's either great things or bad things. I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter. I shouldn't say it doesn't really matter, but it does matter as to what's going on in the world today and also your world. So there's that to think about. And I wanted to be a little, I guess, real with all of you guys out there who are going to watch, who are watching now and who will watch later. I was thinking about my brand name, Julius Freeman. I was thinking about who am I really? Like, what am I all about? Because the past few weeks doing this live stream stuff, I've been trying to be something that I'm not. I guess I'm trying to be like this TV host of some kind, and I started thinking about it. I was pondering about it, and I realized, that isn't me. That's not me. I need to be more real. I need to be more authentic, more raw, as it's called. And so that's what I'm gonna be tonight. I'm gonna be raw with you guys tonight, and hopefully you'll stick around because I will be talking about the Ghetto Dragon, the campaign of the Ghetto Dragon, and I hope you guys will join me in this journey, where as I take you to a journey as to where I would like the Ghetto Dragon to end up in the terms in the comic book universe, or in the comic book industry, I should say. So I'm going to pull it up right here so I could show you guys what I'm talking about. And so here we are. Let me just share the screen here real quick so I can show you guys what. So there it is, guys. Still at 880, 4 days left of the campaign. I'm close, man, going over that $1,000 mark, and it may not happen, but you know what? That's okay. It happens. It's my first campaign. Nobody knows the name Julius Freeman, and that's what got me thinking today. Actually, it got me thinking about what the new, not I guess not the new way, but I guess what's always been tried and true any in any platform that has sprung up in the history of human civilization. So you had back in the day scholars and thinkers and philosophers who produced, books, and their names are remembered, right? And then as we progressed into the 20th century, then television came in. Right, well, first radio came in, then television, and then now we have the internet and YouTube and streaming and whatnot. So when I think about who I am as a artist, a comic book artist, Julius Freeman, just who the hell am I? Well, I'm a guy just trying to make it. I'm a guy trying to sit in the same room as the Rob Liefelds, as the Jim Lees, or in terms of writers, Brian Azzarello, Ed Brubaker, Mark Millar, Warren Ellis, Alan Moore, Grant Morrison, Stan Lee. The list goes on and on. That's where I want to be. I want to be in that room with those guys. That's what I wanted to do. The who is the real Julius Freeman? That's right, Dave. We're about to find out tonight. Hopefully, you guys will stick around. Hopefully, more people will trickle in and then join me in this raw edition of Julius Talking Comics with Julius Freeman. So, as I was saying, that's where I want to be. I want to be there, rubbing side by side with the giants of comics. I don't think that's too much to ask for. I mean, that's what most people do things, right? Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, all the greats that we know today wanted the same thing. They looked up to Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. And there's another writer, I can't remember his name. There's another famous Chris Claremont, and again, the list goes on and on as to the writers of the comic book industry. They eventually work their way up to that level, and that's where I want to be. I want to work my way up to that level. And with the 45 backers that I currently have on the campaign, that's 45 readers that I've gained with zero credibility to my name, right? If my name happened to be Mark Millar, I guarantee you that number would be a lot higher than it is today. If my name was Warren Ellis, or maybe not Warren Ellis because he's been, canceled due to his whatever it was that he was involved with, but Alan Moore, another example, that number would be a lot higher. And then, well, why is that? Well, it's because we're trained as readers to, buy the stuff of the things that we already trusted brand names, right? We know Alan Moore can write a good story. We know Mark Millar can write a phenomenal story. So that's why we always gravitate to their new stuff, because we're always curious to see what they have next in store. And so I understand fully that this number, 880, 45 backers, I'm grateful for that. Because hopefully when book 2 is launched, that number will be a lot bigger. Hopefully it'll be 85 backers in book 2. So that's why I've been tweeting out, things like I'm grateful, because no one knows who Julius Freeman is. No one. They just know a guy who tweets stuff. With an image in the little circle where it shows you the picture where it's supposed to be your face, but I don't have my face on there. So I hope that this live streaming is what helps me get to know you better, and vice versa. You get to know me, Julius Freeman. Who am I? What am I all about? I studied philosophy for a lot of years, so I could probably depart some of that wisdom to all of you. What do you think Chris Claremont's best were? X-Men, man. X-Men. All of it. His stuff was always on point. He was the perfect X-Men writer. He really was, because I'm sure he read a lot of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's X-Men when they first did that first run with Magneto. And when he got old enough and he got that gig, man, he probably already had all those ideas already there in his head, ready to come out. And there's so many fantastic X-Men stories written by Chris Claremont. And that's what I mean. He worked his way up, and that's what I want to do with the Ghetto Dragon. Work my way up. I want to build the trust of the reader. And I know I'm not Ethan Van Sciver. I know I'm not Richard Meyer or Clint Stoker or Mike Miller or even Nasser, who's, from what I've seen, is a pretty good writer himself. I gotta give good writers credit where it's due, and I think Nasser is a pretty good writer, personally speaking. And I think he has a world of potential because he's young. He's fairly young, and he has so much ahead of himself, just like I have so much ahead of myself as well. So this 45 backers, like I was saying, I'm grateful for it, because it means 45 people are going to get to know Julius Freeman's writing style. They're going to get to see what I'm all about as a writer. Am I a good writer? Do I keep your interest? Am I good enough for you to come back? That's the key to a good comic book. Do I have you come back for more? And you're absolutely right, Curious Comics. We are works in progress. We are. There's an old there's a story I read in a grammar book. It was an instructor who wrote a book about grammar, to teach people how to properly use grammar. And there was one little story he shared that stuck with me. It like seared itself in my mind, and that was a student of his wrote, "I'm not a human being, I'm a human becoming," which was like, to a grammarian, that's like beautiful, right? And yeah, you're absolutely right. We are works in progress. We are becoming, we mature into our old age. At least that's the hope. That's the goal. When I was in Peter Samedi's Open Mic Monday, I think last week, he mentioned something that was um, very true and very close to home, which kind of, he encapsulated who I am as a person with this one thing that he said. And he said, you know what, man, I'm so happy. I remember when you launched this back in February, you didn't meet your goal. You raised a little bit, but you didn't meet your goal. And you shut it down. You refunded the money. You went back and, kind of, I guess you could say I re-strategized. I don't even know if that's a word or not. I, your approach to this crowdfunding campaign, platform. And now here you are and you met your goal. And you didn't complain, you didn't bitch, you didn't blame anyone else. You just went about your business and you actually worked and worked through the problems that arose when I first launched it back in February. And you came back and you got your freaking, you got your goal. You hit your goal. And that encapsulates Julius Freeman, the individual. You can't blame anyone else for your failures, guys. You can't. You got to accept your failure, because if you accept your failure and you soak it in, and you it's cringy as that might feel when you fail at something, when you try something now and you fail, because it happens. When you could soak that back in with the cringe and actually properly analyze the mistakes you made, you'll come out stronger, like the phoenix bird, right? Reborn from the ashes. And that's what this is. This 880, this 45 backers, 4 days left in the campaign, no good deed, with zero credibility to Julius Freeman. No one knew who I was. No one knows who I am. But yet I was able to convince 45 people to throw money at me because they want to give me a chance. They want to give me a chance to prove that I have what it takes to stand side by side with Richard Meyer, Clint Stoker, even Roe from Vestige, from War Campaign, even him, because Vestige looks like a great book. I'm not going to deny it. I know War Campaign is a very, it's a very, what do you call it? It's a group that people really don't like, but I gotta give Roe credit for Vestige. It's a great book. So I hope that's the next step in this journey of mine, is can I fulfill my campaign? And I hope you guys call me out if I do fail to communicate with you. I don't want it to hit April or May of next year and you guys don't have the Ghetto Dragon in your hands. Because if that happens, then I messed up. I messed up big time. And so I hope you guys can call me out on it. Hopefully. Failure hurts, but must be acknowledged to improve. Absolutely. Absolutely. Andy Kaufman, who's one of my favorite comedians, he famously said, "The secret to success is failure." That's what he said. And I remember when I first heard that, when I first read that, I was like, "What? How is that?" And of course, I started contemplating about it. The secret to success is failure. What does that mean? And then as I got older, and I realized, oh, okay, I understand what it means. You learn from your mistakes. And the more you learn from your mistakes, the stronger you'll become, the better you'll get. I'm sure a lot of artists out there who started out made a lot of mistakes. And then, of course, they learned. The key, obviously, is humility, right? If you are not humble, you will never learn from your mistakes because your pride gets in your way of your progress. It always does, for the most part, anyway. I know, and there are exceptions to the rule, obviously. But the Ghetto Dragon Book 1, No Good Deed, is the success from all my recent failures. And now look, I've reached my goal. I wish it was a lot more. I'm not gonna lie. I wish it was a lot more. I wish I was at $5,000. I wish I was at $10,000 because I feel that this Ghetto Dragon No Good Deed Book 1 is worth every cent and every penny. Because I feel like I wrote a good story. A good story that's gonna help people, not help people, but that's gonna both entertain and enlighten the reader. That's the goal for me anyway, as a writer. I'm the most humble person I know. No one's more humble than me. Yeah. I like that. That's cool. Pride comes before the fall. Absolutely, Curious Comics. Absolutely. Always. Always. We've seen them. I mean, we've witnessed it firsthand. Lots of people have witnessed that on Twitter, on YouTube. I mean, we have people who are, high on the mountain, and then they say something or do something that just knocks them off the mountain. And that's how it works sometimes. But as I was saying about the Ghetto Dragon, this is the outcome of my failure. Now, I will have to repeat myself for those who will come later, or hopefully later on in the show, or after the fact when it's no longer live. When this campaign ends, I've decided not to extend it. I've decided to just accept what I got, because I feel that's probably going to be the best option for me. So that way I can learn the other side of this platform business, which is fulfillment, making sure the books go out on time, making sure that the books are protected when I do mail them out, making sure that they get into the hands of the people who back this campaign. And so when this goes on in demand, which I'm thinking it's on Sunday, the black and white print copy is gone. It's not going to be available on in demand. The PDF will be available still for in demand, so you'll still be able to get that option, and it will be in color. It won't be in black and white. You will get the black, not black and white, the colored version of the Ghetto Dragon No Good Deed in the PDF form. This will still be available on in demand. The black and white print copy, gone. Not going to be available anymore. So if you were thinking about it, because remember, you still have 4 days, guys. I know the people who watch this after the fact are probably on the fence going, I don't know, we'll see. Now's your chance to get a black and white for $5. I mean, what's $5? It's nothing nowadays. You pay $5 for a freaking 32-page comic book, and all I'm asking for is $5 for a 50-plus page comic book. That is nothing. You're getting flea market prices here with the $5 black and white print copy of the Ghetto Dragon. But once this goes on in demand, it's gone. It's gone. It won't be available anymore forever. Because there's no point to printing a black and white version unless it's a new campaign. But this one is not going to be a new campaign. These two will still be available, so you'll still get the option to choose the Kim Jacinto cover, which is this beautiful cover here, and Steven Seven's cover, which is this cover right here. These two will be available still. So the PDF, the Kim Jacinto cover, and the Steven Seven cover for $11 will still be available for in demand in the case people come after the fact. I don't know how long I'll have the in demand up for. I might have it for 2 months. I'm not sure. But I am hoping that the colorist will finish the pages as soon as she can, and then once she does, off the printing presses it will go. I like the first cover. It reminds me of old coin op video game cabinet art. Yeah, it does actually. Oh, actually, yeah. Now that you mention it, it does. It really does look like that. Put the quarter in and you'll play as this character, and he have to fight through all the thugs in the street to get to the main guy. Yeah, absolutely. The old trope told in the new form. That's essentially what Ghetto Dragon is. So the 1-2 punch tiers will be gone. Gone, guys. These two will not be available when the campaign goes on demand. So this is I'm going to show you guys pages of the 1-2 punch so you guys can see what you will be getting with the 1-2 punch tier. You'll be getting 2 books. You'll be getting obviously the book 1 of the Ghetto Dragon No Good Deed. And then the second book will be the compilation of the short stories that I produced over the years. The ash can, this extra book is my failures. You'll be witnessing, you'll have a copy of my failures in your hand, an extra copy to show you guys that I've come a long way to become the writer that I am today. So once the campaign is over, guys, the 1-2 tier, the 1-2 punch tier, gone. So the only thing available that will be available for the in-demand store will be the Steven Seven cover, the Kim Jacinto cover, which reminds ID Crisis Dave of the old coin-op video game art, and the PDF, and that's it. Black and white gone, the 1-2 punch gone. So the 7 people who've claimed this, 14 people, total of 14 people who claim this, there'll be 14 people who will have a collector's item, potentially a collector's item in this book. This ash can. So if you want to get yourself a collector's item, potentially, obviously, then get yourself the 1-2 punch, because these stories are great too. I'm not gonna lie. They're fantastic. So yeah, I wanted to also talk about before I show you guys the 1-2 punch tier, the collection. I wanted to talk about why indie comics is the future. I know I like to repeat myself, but I have to repeat myself so that way people can understand why it's important that indie comics is the future of comics, because the corporate entities who have controlled the comic book industry for, I would say, hundreds of years at this point, since the 1930s, 1940s, right? Yeah, no, not hundreds of years, plus 50 plus years. They're dead. They're dying. And there's a whole slew of readers who are aching for something new, something fresh, and indie comics is going to give it to them. Now, the question is, who will rise to the top of the crop, right? Because you have all these campaigns that are popping up everywhere, Kickstarter and Indiegogo, both successful crowdfunding campaigns. They're popping up, man. They're coming, and they're going to come strong. The question is, who will rise to the top? Right now, at the top of the game is Ethan Van Sciver, Richard Meyer, Clint Stoker is up there, Billy Tucci is up there with She. But see, here's the advantage that they have. Billy Tucci is a veteran. Everyone knows who Billy Tucci is, so that's why he was successful in his campaigns. Same thing goes for Ethan Van Sciver. You know, he was a very successful DC Comics artist, which is why his campaign was able to raise over $1 million for his Cyberfrog comic. But when you look at Richard Meyer, who the hell is he? But he was still able to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars for his comics. And why is that? It's because he understood what was coming. He was ahead of the curve. And obviously, when you're ahead of the curve, you benefit the most. Always benefit the most when you're ahead of the curve. When you're first in line, I guess, you know, as the saying goes, right? When you're first in line, you get dibs on the first, thing that you want to get. So Richard Meyer was first in line, and let's be real, the controversy that surrounded him kind of helped him as well. Let's be real about that. If it wasn't for Mark Waid opening his big fat mouth and lying through his teeth that he was a neo-Nazi and try to cancel him, try to destroy his life, he wouldn't have gotten the insurmountable and also justified support. Because I'm a big, I just hate people lying about stuff like that. It just really gets it really gets on my nerves when people lie about stuff, like when they spread lies about people like that when they're not true and they have no proof or evidence to prove otherwise. But let's face it, that really helped them a lot. But from what I've gathered from people who have bought Richard Meyer's books, they're great books. They're entertaining, which is what he wanted to do. He wanted to sell entertaining comics. He wanted to bring back what he grew up reading when he was a kid, growing, reading GI Joe comics and whatnot, and superhero comics. Brought that back, and that's why people flock to his books, because he brought back that old, that imaginative wonder, right? That wonder that kids have when they read comics. So that's what I had when I read comics. I don't have that anymore. It's gone. Kind of the magic's gone away. Malin just got back from the hospital, so he's still coaching. Yeah. I heard. I hope he asked me on his stream. I know he said on Saturday he wanted to do a showcase and to respond to his tweet. So I did. I hope he calls me on, man. I hope he looked at the campaign and hopefully he thinks it's good enough. But yeah, I'm kind of crossing my fingers on that. And if he doesn't ask me on the show, that's okay. I don't take it personal. I never take those things personal, because John Malin is a pro, and I understand that. Malin sounds. Hey, Nim Productions, what's up, buddy? How you doing, dude? Malin sounds bad. From what I hear, yeah, he had COVID, man. Hopefully he gets a speedy recovery. And Malin, if you happen to watch this, HCQ, man, try it out. But of course, ask your doctor before you take it. I cross do it. I hope so, man. I like I said, I hope he does have me on the show, because I would love to be on the show. It'll be a nice rub. It will probably hopefully boost up my sales for the last day of the campaign. And the more the merrier, because that's another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, the Ghetto Dragon, and that is all the extra money that I make from the campaign. It's not going to go to my pocketbook. I hope you guys know that. I'm not making any money from this campaign. It may seem like that because I met my goal. I got $300 above my goal and whatnot. But I am not making any money, not one penny. All of it is going to the team producing the book, the artist, the inker, and the colorist. And anything extra that on top of that, I'll make sure to make that they get it, that they always get it. And I'm not talking about for book one. I already paid them for book one. I'm talking about for book two. Book two is still being produced, and I will pop that up now so that way you guys can check it out, because I think what I have here is some fantastic stuff for book two. So I'm gonna pop that up here, and I'm gonna give you guys a glimpse of book two, first time ever. So consider yourselves lucky, the ones who are watching live. But the ones who come afterwards, enjoy it. But the ones who are watching live are going to get a nice treat right now, because they're going to see pages from book two of the Ghetto Dragon to show you guys that I'm still going. I'm still pushing, because I want you guys to read the Ghetto Dragon. I want you guys to enjoy the Ghetto Dragon. I want you guys to grow to love Matt Guerra, the Ghetto Dragon, because this story, this character is going to go through so much. You have no idea what he has coming for book two. Once you read book one, you'll understand what I'm referring to, because I'm not going to give away too much of what happens in book one. I just know that what I will tell you is that book one will end with something big coming towards our hero. Something big. So I kind of leave you at that. So let me pull it up here so I can show you guys. All right, hold on. Give me a second. All right. Here we go, guys. All right. I'm going to show you the first, I'm going to say 5 or 6 pages. These are in pencils. They're not inked yet. So they're not finalized. But again, like I'm telling you, it's onward and forward. Where Bruce Lee have a cameo. Why do you have to do this to me, Nimprod? Seriously, why do you have to do this to me, man? Why do you want spoilers, bro? Maybe. I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about doing like a dream thing, but it's kind of hokey. It's kind of been done. So I'm still on the fence, man. As a writer, I'm thinking about it, because I thought about that. I was like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool to have that, but I'm on the fence because I'm still in the works of producing the rest of the book, when I mean by that, I'm talking about script writing. But I'm still on the fence. I don't know. I'm leaning towards no, because it's kind of been done over and over again in movies, and I think some other books have done it as well. And then also there's the copyright issue too. I would have to ask permission to use his likeness, and I don't want to get sued by his daughter. His daughter's too nice, and I don't want to. I don't want that. True romance, exactly. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? But Matt would have to be kind of crazy, like that character was in True Romance, because that character in True Romance was a little crazy, man. But that's what made him endearing in a lot of ways for the movie. By the way, if you guys have not seen True Romance, I highly recommend it. Quentin Tarantino's script writing with Tony Scott's directing, and you have a beautiful, gorgeous, violent movie with Christian Slater, and I think it's Patricia Arquette. I think plays the love interest in the movie. They're kind of like a little I wasn't gonna say Romeo and Juliet, but Bonnie and Clyde type of situation. But yeah, great movie. Yeah, one of my favorites as well, for sure. One of my favorites too. Very underrated, I think, in my opinion. I don't think many people talk about that movie too much like they do his other movies. I'm talking about Quentin Tarantino, and I'm talking about Tony Scott. But yeah, I'm thinking about it. I don't know, Nimprod. Maybe, but we'll see. You just have to read on. So okay, without further ado, here are the pencils for book 2, Ghetto Dragon. So let me just share the screen here. I thought I had it already, but I didn't. See, it was live, man. That's what happens when you're live. There you go. So there you go. I'm not going to tell you what's happening, because that will kind of spoil the story. But I mean, just look at these pencils, man. Alan Fletcher is Walker, Hopper, and oh yes, Christopher Walker was so great in that. That's right. That scene, man. That's right. That scene when he's talking to Dennis Hopper's character, man. That scene. I remember when I first saw that movie, I was like, dude, Christopher Walken is the shit, man. This guy is freaking on another level. I remember thinking like, man, this guy is good. And Patricia and Curious Comics' Patricia was wow in that. I wasn't a big fan of Patricia Arquette, but when I saw the movie, I have to agree with you, Curious. I was like, not bad, Patricia. Not bad. All right. My phone at work, crack screen. It's all good, bud. It's all good. You can watch the replay. It's all right. So going back to the page here, Alan Fletcher, man, the line artist for the Ghetto Dragon is freaking on point. Watch out for his name. He's coming, man. He is coming full force, guys. Alan Fletcher is going to be a name that everyone's going to know in a few years. Because, I mean, if only you guys can see the amount of what can I say? I want to say professionalism, but his ability to want to get better. I mean, this is the outcome of we worked together for 2 years now. This is the outcome of 2 years working together, and he knows precisely what I want and what I like. So before I would damn nice. Yeah, damn is right, dude. Damn is right, Nimprod. Alan Fletcher is like I said, he's a beast. He's just getting better and better with time. Curious Comics, nice, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Next panel, please. Yes, in a minute, Curious. I'll make sure to potential. He's already here. ID Crisis. Not potential. He's here. He had potential in the beginning when I worked with him, because in the beginning when I started working with him on the project, he had just started working on sequentials, meaning he didn't really know how to do sequentials yet. He was kind of messing with it, but he wasn't too I guess you could say immersed in it. He didn't have a sequential understanding of how to tell a story. But here, this is the outcome of 2 years working together and actually working with him closely with edits and thumbnails and whatnot. Because the way I work is I write the script. Well, in the beginning, I lay out the panels. I write the script, and then I send the artist the script. They send me the thumbnails, and then if they kind of draw something that doesn't really flow or it's easy on the eye, then I show them my panel layouts. And when I show them my panel layout, that's when they go, I got it. I know exactly what you're looking for. And then they change it back or they do it better. But this is the outcome where I no longer have to do that. I just send him the script and he gives me this. And no longer do I have to send him any panels or any panel layouts anymore. That's how much he's grown. He's getting there, guys. I'm telling you, he's there already. If this book blows up, if this book manages to get a big audience, people are going to ask, who is Alan Fletcher? They're not going to care about Julius Freeman. I don't think. I hope they do. But I think for the most part, in the comic book medium, from my own experience, when a comic book blows up, the first question is, who is the artist? And that's rightfully so, because we are in the visual medium. We are part of a visual medium. So, here is the first two panels. And I mean, fantastic establishing shot right here. And here are two kids. Again, facial expressions are key in comic books. You got to have them, because even though I don't have the bubbles, you have no idea what these kids are talking about, you still get a sense of what's happening. And that's key for good comic book storytelling. And Alan Fletcher just freaking whoops, I almost dropped my microphone there. This is the kind of art, this is the kind of artist you want working with you when you're writing comics. And vice versa. You want a writer who makes it easy for you. And they run to the backyard, and then dun dun dun. Who is that guy? But I mean, look at this shot. Great shot. Fantastic shot. So on to the next page. I think I'm going to show you just maybe 3. I don't want to give away too much. Here's the second page. Again, another beautiful establishing shot. Mwah. Magnifique. And again, you don't know what's happening. You don't know what's being talked about, but it's action. If you could follow a story without bubbles, that means you're doing a good job as an artist, a sequential storyteller. Again, just fantastic work, man. This guy just is on it. I'll go slowly so you guys can check out, what he drew. I mean, look, it's just, they're a lot cleaner. I mean, they're pencils, they're roughs. He doesn't clean up his pencils because the inker has done such a great job cleaning up his pencils that, it's I have to give the inker credit. Julio Falkenhagen's the inker. Julio Falkenhagen, not Falkenhagen. Nice to see he doesn't spare on BGs. BGs, what's that? Oh, backgrounds? Are you talking about backgrounds? Yeah, he doesn't. He's a student of the game. Like, he studied Jack Kirby. He studied Winsor Smith. He studied like the greats. I think he's also a huge Dave Gibbons fan as well, and also Steve Dillon. So yeah, he's like I said, he's on his way, man. Like you're right. He doesn't spare on backgrounds, and that's why I like working with him, because he loves to draw backgrounds. It's like his forte. That's like what he loves to do. So when I write a script, I remember that. I make a mental note of it. Okay, he likes to draw backgrounds, so I'll make sure to give him something to draw. So here's this. So go to the next page. And the panel layout is, I love his panel layouts too. Like I said, I don't really lay out panels for him anymore. I let him just do it now, because I have confidence. That's how much confidence I have in him in terms of like laying out panels. So the next page, and this is a very simple one because of all the bubbles that I'm going to add later. But once again, it's facial expressions are key to let you know what the character's thinking, what the character's feeling as I add the bubbles. I don't want to say bubbles, the word balloons, I should say. And he just has a good eye, a good director's eye. And I can't wait to see these inked. I can't wait to see these colored. I've already lettered them, but I'm not gonna show the lettering part. Obviously, the party seems very. Hey, man, I will say this: growing up as a Latino parties, they're so inviting. They really are because it's mainly families. So I'm sure in improv you have your family, and when you have your family gatherings, you have a good time. And Latino parties, I'm sure like family parties, just not just Latino parties, but coming from a perspective of a Latino like myself, the parties that my parents and my family have thrown have been very inviting. Invite your friends, invite them over. Come on, there's plenty of food, there's plenty of drinks. Come on, join us. And I wanted to convey that in this book. I want to show people that again, it seems like a Latino centric book. It seems like a book that if you're Latino, you will love it. No, if you're just Latino, you will love it, and anyone else outside Latino wouldn't get it or wouldn't like it. That's not true. This is a very universal themed book. It's just the character happens to be Latino because why not? Why not? But it's a very universal. The theme is a very universal theme. It deals with family. It really does. What happens when someone attacks your family? You defend them. You have their back because they're family, unless they really screw you over, which sometimes does happen. Here's the next page, and once again, this Alan Fletcher just is able to capture, great facial expressions to let you know, what's going on with what the character is thinking. And his pencil's just gotten better and better with time. His shading, his lines. I mean, I really do like the way he does his pencils, and I wish I could produce the book just with the pencils, but I know that's not how that's not how it works in comics. People want to see the color, and I especially would like to too as well. And yeah, he's again, like you mentioned in prod, he doesn't spare with the backgrounds. He just goes for the background. He goes for it. That's what I like about his work. He goes for it. I'm gonna show you guys some more. I don't know why it's not letting me. There you go. I mean, it's great. Just I don't know. I can't really say much more about this. The hair is nicely rendered too. I hate doing hair. Yeah, that's the one thing I hear from artists that I've worked with over the years, that they hate doing hair because how do you shade it, but yeah, he does, like I mentioned, like I keep mentioning over and over again, he just loves to draw. That's another thing that I really like about working with Alan Fletcher, is that he really loves to draw. He really loves to sit down and draw. And that's a good indicator of a guy who has a long future ahead of him. Because of his dedication to become the best artist that he can be. And I know he's going to get there because, like I said, I've seen his growth. I've seen him from the beginning to now. And oof, guys, if you guys can get me to a high number for book one, past 2,000, 3,000, because the more that happens, the faster I could get book two done, because I could just drop all that money to his pocketbook, and he will commit himself to finishing the book if I do that. He's given me his word. He's the type of guy that you want on your side. You want the kind of guy that Alan Fletcher is on your team, because he is like me. He wants to deliver product to the reader, because he understands that if you don't deliver to the reader, they don't come back. They leave you high and dry because you're not worth it. But as you can see here, like you're right. You're right. Why you can really feel the conversation. You're absolutely right. Because he's starting to understand more. Body language is key to a great comic book. And the word balloons are extra. The word balloon should always be extra. It should never be the other way around. Never sacrifice your body language when you draw comics, especially sequential comics, sequential art. Because if you could tell the story without the word balloons, that's it. You're done. You got it. You're gonna hook the reader because they could not only will they be able to read what they're saying, they're gonna feel what they're saying, which is the key factor in a good comic book. My favorite comic book are rough cut editions, pencils in front, script in the back. Hey man, that you're absolutely right. I'm no, actually no, I'll take that back. I'm not a big fan of those, to be honest with you. I like my comic books to be complete. The only ones I do enjoy, like what you say, your rough cut editions, are like the IDW books, those big, those artist edition size, the ones that they print in the real actual 11 by 17 size. They're like thick books. Those were really cool. Those were really cool. I just backed your campaign. Hey, dude, thanks, Curious Comics. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, man. I really do. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. You're getting me closer to the $1,000 mark, and the more I get, like I said, it'll end up in the pocketbook of the artist involved in book 2. Because remember, it's still being done, as you can see, and I'm showing you guys a preview of book 2, so you can see, for those who are watching now, for those who will watch later, that I'm still going. I'm still trying to push this through, even with the COVID shutdowns and even with the threat of my pocketbook getting lighter. You have to make your characters act. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let me scroll down here so you guys can check out the rest of this page, this beautiful page. And I mean, yeah, just check it out. Look at that. You don't know what they're talking about, but you kind of have a sense of what they're talking about. From this panel, he's kind of unsure, but from this panel, kind of smiling. You know what? Maybe the dad reassured him about something. You don't know until you read the word balloons. And again, I really do love his shading too. His shading is really great. I really do love the way he shades and uses his pencils. All right, guys. The next is going to be a double page spread. That's the last I'm going to show you guys of it. Because any more, then I'm going to, I'll potentially show spoilers. Unless you guys don't want me to show you what comes next after this. If you guys don't want me to show you this, then I won't show it to you. Is he his dad? Is he his father? Yes, he is. Now, did you get that? Did you kind of get that when you saw the pages? I'm curious to know if you got that from the pages that I just showed you, that he was his father. Ooh, double page spread. Okay, all right, man, I'll do it. Yes, Nimprod, that is his father. That is Matt Geras, the Ghetto Dragon's father. Good catch. That's a good catch. And I'm pretty sure you came to that conclusion because of the way they interacted with each other, right? In terms of body language. Because a father would put his arm around his son like that. Especially a father who had a good relationship with his son. And I have a relationship like that with my dad. Who's comfortable putting his arm around me and, talking to me close and giving me, this guy is kind of based off my dad in a little bit. It kind of looks like him. I made sure that the artist resembled my dad. My dad kind of looks like that. He had the thick mustache and the parted hair on the side and all that. And the finger. Yeah, you're right. See, another good catch. See, this is why body language is key to good comic book storytelling. Because just by that alone, you guys were able to catch that like that. And yep, he didn't look like his parent have the relationship. See, there you go. There you go. And you can see the Ghetto Dragon trying to hold him up. Absolutely. So, all right, guys, you want to see the next page? You want to see the double page spread? And after that, I'm going to stop. I'm going to not show that. I'm going to stop showing the book 2. So, all right, guys, you ready? Hopefully it's this double page spread. Hopefully I'm not wrong. Okay, what's going on? Why isn't this? There we go. It wasn't a double page spread. Sorry. It wasn't that. It was this. I'll still show you guys because Why not, right? So I'm not gonna go back. Like I said, I'm not explaining to you what's happening here. Okay. I'm just gonna show you the panels, and then if you guys want to determine what's happening, then that's up to you. Why? Sorry, guys. I thought it was a double spread, but it's not. Sorry, bro. He missed the joke. Yeah, I missed the joke. What was this joke? You can see Ghetto Dragon trying to hold him up. Maybe I did miss the joke. Maybe you could clarify the joke. Again, great face, fantastic face, and there you go. Now we go to the double play spread. You're gonna have to read to find out, my friend. You're gonna have to wait until book 2 comes back to find out. I'm not gonna say either or. You're gonna have to read to find out. Nah, that was a good. That's still a good guess. That's still a good guess. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I did the wrong one. All right, here we go. Here's the double page spread. Look at that beaut. Look at that beauty. It's not a beaut. So yeah, guys, here's the double page spread. And as you can see, there's all sorts of chaos happening in this party. What happens after this? It's up to you guys to okay, lots of detail. That is work. Nice. It is, man. And that spread looks absolutely. I mean, when I got this double page spread, guys, I was like, if I was sure then, I'm sure now that Alan Fletcher has a bright future in comics. He does. After this Ghetto Dragon project is over, he might. I'm gonna go on a limb and say he might go for the Marvel and DC work, and I wouldn't be surprised if they hired him. I really wouldn't. I hope he doesn't. I personally hope that he continues to produce indie comics, because I feel like those two companies are gonna box him in. They're not gonna let him. They're not gonna let him, expand his wings. If he goes for Image, I think all the better right there. I think that would be his best bet, is if he does an Image-owned comic that he writes, because I think he did mention to me that he wanted to work on his own book, and I hope he does. Whoever is working that Gatling gun needs to work on his. Very nice, beautifully violent. Thank you, Christ, Dave. Yes, maybe he's a stormtrooper from Star Wars. Maybe that's what he is. His persona is that he's a stormtrooper. But yeah, I hope Alan Fletcher does pursue his own indie work, because I feel like if he goes on his own and he will be allowed to expand his wings and actually grow as an artist. If he goes to Marvel and DC, they would pay him for sure. He would make good money working for those two companies, but I feel like they're going to constrain him if they do, because I'm telling you guys, book 2 is going to be freaking wild, because not only was not only did I what's the one I'm looking for? Not only is he getting better, which he has, but I'm letting him what's the word I'm looking for? Experiment with the medium. So in book 2, I've been telling him, like, just give me what you got, man. Give me your best. What you think is the best in terms of sequential storytelling. And then if I like what I see, we'll go with that. And if I don't, then I'll give you some notes and edits. But he's definitely going to experiment with the medium. So we're gonna see a great book 2. If you guys recall in my previous videos, if you've seen them, I did mention that book one, The Ghetto Dragon No Good Deed, was supposed to be one book. It was supposed to be one volume, 100-page book. But since he had to go back to school, because he wanted to go back to school so he could, have a better understanding of the rules of art and storytelling, we had to he had to slow down his output of pages. So then I told him, look, how about this? How about I split the book into two? I focus on selling book one, try to get as many people to, get their eyes on it and get the readership, get the reader base, going. And so that way, when you're ready to come back and output, more pages for book two, we'll be ready. So this goes in a circle here, in a complete circle. This is why I'm grateful for those 45 backers. This is why I'm grateful for everyone who supported me, for everyone who has retweeted my campaign, spreading the word of my campaign. I know a lot of the time, since this is my first campaign, I know there has to be people out there waiting to see how I do in terms of fulfillment, because I understand the wariness of it. A lot of people have been burned. So I totally get it. I totally get waiting in the background there to see how Julius Freeman fulfills his campaign. And I'm going to do my best, guys. You have my word that I'm going to fulfill as fast as I can. And so that way the trust can be built. And that way, when I do launch book two, instead of having 45 backers, I'll have 85 backers, or hopefully 85 and above. And the next time, hopefully it will be more than $800. Hopefully it will be in the 5,000s or in the 6,000s. Hopefully, God willing. But yeah, guys, this is the preview. This is the preview of the book two, the beginning of book two. This is the first few pages of book two. So you guys got a treat. For those watching live and for those who will watch after the fact, you guys have been graced by the preview of book two, just to show you guys that yes, Julius Freeman is still working on the Ghetto Dragon, because I do want to get this book out there to you guys. I really do, because Ghetto Dragon is a great story. I've worked really hard on it, and you guys will not regret backing the Ghetto Dragon. And so before I end it, since I've been on here for about close to, I think almost an hour now, I want to say. Let's see. Yeah, about an hour. So I want to show you guys a little bit of the 1-2 punch tier, the second book that you're gonna get if you back the 1-2 punch tier. So let me just get this out here for you guys, so you guys can check it out. Give me a second here. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. All right. So let me see. It was the wrong folder. Whoops. Let me see here. Hold on here. Bear with me. There we go. Okay. All right. Here is the cover for the promises a lot. That is a promise. It is a lot to promise. But I'm willing to back up my claim. I feel that when you are passionate about something, when you put your heart and soul into something, be it a comic book or a novel or anything really, an art piece, a drawing, if you really do put your heart and soul into it. And when I mean heart and soul, I'm not talking blind. Okay. I'm not talking, being blind to your skill set. Cause I've met lots of writers and artists who are terrible writers and terrible artists, but they've convinced themselves that they're great. See, there's a difference, right? But when I mentioned earlier in the stream about making mistakes and learning from your mistakes, and you grow from that, then that's when you can understand. When you understand the rules, there's a reason why they're there, right? The rules of drawing, the rules of writing, the rules of whatever, directing, even the rules of other stuff that you want to do, construction, whatever. Once you know the rules of those and you have a full understanding of them, then you could truly express yourself the way you want. Truly. So yes, that's why I say now, you're not talking to a young kid. I'm not saying this to like, be mad at you. Don't take it like that. I'm just letting you know you're not talking to some newbie. I I would have been a newbie back in 2008. If I was on here talking like this in 2008, I'd be lying to you. I'd be lying to your face. Because back then I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I thought I did because I was one of those guys who was a terrible writer and I thought I was the best until I went to a novel workshop class and my teacher was a published author. He had like 10 books published. And when I gave him my manuscript, because we took turns every week to read each other's. There's like 5 students in the class, and we took turns reading each other's 20-page manuscript, like a 20-page preview of our novel. And I turned my head thinking like he's gonna freaking praise me. He's gonna say I'm the best. I'm the next best thing. This is real, guys. This is a true story. And when it was my turn to talk about what I wrote, he told me to my face, he said, dude, how long have you been writing? I said, I've been writing for 5 years. Was it good? He's like, dude, this is one of the worst things I ever read in my life. You can imagine my face. It wasn't like this. It was more like, what? And he's like, I have no idea who this guy is. I don't care who this guy. He's talking about the main character in the book. I don't care who he is. I don't care. You don't. Dude, what is this? Is this your first draft? That's what killed me. And it wasn't my first draft. It was like I think my 3rd or 4th draft that I turned in. And he was legitimately like, "This is your first draft? Like, did you turn in your first draft?" And since I was so embarrassed, you have freaking other students like looking at me. I'm on the spot. I didn't want to further embarrass myself, so I lied and I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Dude, don't ever do this again. Give me your 4th or 5th draft. Okay, don't ever turn in a first draft to me ever again. Okay, you're wasting my time." You want to talk about being humbled? Yeah, that was me 2008. So since that day, I had to swallow my pride and I had to get rid of it. I had to get rid of my ego because that was blinding me. Because I was surrounded by people who were saying, "This is good stuff, Juli. This is good stuff, Julius. This is good stuff." But they were lying to me. So it took someone outside my circle of friends and family, and it took that teacher who I thanked in the end of the semester, because I did get better, because I started reading more grammar books, started reading more punctuation. I started reading more. I wanted to know what am I missing? And so he gave me some good advice. He said, "Look, man, you just got to." He told me, I didn't want to embarrass you further in the class that day, but I just want to let you know you need to work on your grammar. You need to work on your punctuation, because I don't know what happened, but it reads like you're still in high school and you're in college now. So you got to work harder than anyone else." And so since then, I worked my ass off to get better as a writer. And I had to humble myself as well, and actually developed a system where I write the draft, right? The first rough draft. And then I step away for about 2 or 3 days and I read it with fresh eyes, meaning I read it as if I'm a reader who bought a novel from a store. And then that way I could see the mistakes I made, and then I could start editing and fixing and changing sentence structures and paragraphs and stuff like that. And it's a process. It's like that's my process. And I have to thank that teacher. I forget his name. It's been so long ago, but that teacher really was I can't thank him enough. And if you are starting out as a writer, I highly recommend you show your book to an editor or someone who's outside your circle, meaning your friends and family. And make sure you find someone, and make sure you have thick skin too, because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. Max Santiago, good advice. I hope you take it. I hope you take the advice. Because I wish I had that advice growing up, but I didn't. Until I had that instructor who told me, this is your first draft. When it was my fourth draft of the novel, of this great American novel that I wrote in my home, thinking like, yeah, this is gonna be so great, man. It's gonna be so killer. People are gonna love this shit. People are gonna fucking love me. And then what happens? Is this your first draft, man? Can you imagine? Woo, man, getting the cringe again. All right, so here goes. Here's the cover for the 1-2 punch tier. Bam. This is what you'll get. Whoa. What the hell happened? Sorry about that, guys. Okay, let's try this again. I accidentally pushed a wrong button and it knocked me out. So I was like, uh-oh. I hope they didn't think I Woo! Okay. All right, let's do this again. There you go. All my best teachers, mentors were the ones who had to tell me about myself. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, I'm grateful. I was grateful that he gave me the truth. You know, and had no problem telling me to my face and in front of everyone else, which was what I needed. I needed to be humbled. Oh, absolutely. You got to check. You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? Isn't that the song? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Watching you on my laptop and typing my phone. That is on Shane's show. I typed the wrong device. Well, if you're on Shane's show, make sure to let him know about the Ghetto Dragon. That'd be nice. So anyway, here's the oh, for crying out loud. Damn, man. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I think I gotta share my screen. Oh my god. It's late. It's getting late. That's probably why. I'm tired. Had a long day at work. Here we go. Finally. All right. Here we go. Now I can show you guys. So here's the cover of the 1-2 punch that you're gonna get for the tier. Yeah, is right. I just hey, you know what? It's a live stream. I told you from the beginning. This is like, you know, me raw. You're getting me raw tonight. You know, I'm not gonna hold back. I'm not gonna fucking pretend I'm like this, you know, big time TV host. I'm just gonna be Julius Freeman. So here you go, mistakes and all. So this cover is drawn by a good friend of mine named Jose Espinosa. He is he's been my friend for a lot of years. Actually, he's since high school, and he's a fantastic artist, talented in his own right. And he drew this cover for me back in 2011 when I wanted to get the Ghetto Dragon off the ground. A boomer. Am I a boomer? Maybe I'm a boomer. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was drawn back in 2011, and it was when I tried to get the Ghetto Dragon off the ground, and I wanted to submit it to Image Comics. I wanted to do all these. I had these great ideas. I had these ideas for it, and it didn't happen. So you're gonna get this cover for the 1-2 punch tier, Fantastic cover drawn by, like I said, Jose Espinosa, who is a talented artist in his own right. But he is not a comic book artist. He does not like comic books. He's not a fan of comic books. The only reason why he did this for me is because it's a favor, because he's a friend of mine and he wanted to help me out. So this is what he provided this for me. And I have to say, man, this detail, let me zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see the detail. Look at the freaking detail down here. The storefront here with the cars parked, the street lamp, the bus, the cars here parked, the house right here with the garage. Just look at the amount of detail in this freaking cover. It's unbelievable. Really, like truly unbelievable. I wish he had given me more, but since it was a favor, I didn't want to ask too much of him because, like I said, this was a favor. So I wish he would have expanded that a little bit more and given me more of that, because I mean, just check it out. Look, the freaking street, the street post here, or the power lines, and then the water tower from Orange County, and then the freeway. Look at that. Monster, man. Monster. And he hates comics. He's a natural. He is a natural. You have no idea how much I've tried, to get him to draw comics. I was like, dude, please. You have no idea how much people will love, not people, the comic book readers will love your stuff. They will. They'll flock to it. And he was like, no, I don't feel like it. I don't want to do that. All right, cool. I tried, guys. I really did. I tried for years. I tried to get him on to do a comic book with me, a one shot. Like, oh, let's do a 22-page one shot. That's it. And then that's it. I'll never bother you again. No, I don't want to do that. So he would tell me, I don't want to do that. Oh, you know what? Actually, I take that back. I did convince him to do one. I think it was a 5-page short. You know what? I'm gonna show it to you guys. I'm gonna show it to you right now. Let me just get it back here so I could show you guys what he did for me. Let's see here. Nope, not here. Hold on. I thought it was here, but I guess it's not. Hold on. Damn, maybe I... all right, here we go. I do have it. Are you guys ready for this? So this is Jose Espinosa's interior art for the Ghetto Dragon. It was a Ghetto Dragon chapter drawn in 2012, or maybe the same year, 2011. Maybe I convinced him. Yeah, I think it was 2011 when I convinced him to do it, and he did it. And he says, okay, I'm only doing this 5 pages, and that's it. Leave me the fuck alone. And so I said, fine, deal, 5 pages, I'll leave you alone. So here we go. Check this out. Now let me zoom in here so you guys can see it in all its glory. Here's the first 3 panels of it, and this is the fourth panel. He can make good money making covers. That's what I try to tell him. I try to tell him that, and he just doesn't want to do it. It's just not his thing. It's just one of those things where like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do something else. And he does do different stuff, like fine arts and stuff. So that's what he wanted. That's essentially what he wanted to do, was fine arts. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I could respect that. But he gave me these 5 pages, and I'm gonna show them to you here for the first time. This will be part of the 1-2 Punch book. Remember, it's the compilation of all my shorts into one, the 1-2 Punch tier. So this will be part of it. And so this is Jose Espinosa's interiors, and just look at this fantastic work. But to be honest with you, I wasn't really happy with his Ghetto Dragon getup. I wasn't too big on that. But since it was a favor, since he was doing it for free, I didn't complain. But I mean, yeah, just take a look at this. He got the chemtrails going. He got the palateria guy here. I mean, just fantastic work all around, in my opinion. And then the background, the water tower in the background here, this beautiful little bridge, and his ability to just tell a good story. Not tell a good story, but showcase his talent as a comic book artist. A little stiff to my liking, but again, I'm not going to complain because he did this for free. He didn't charge me for this. So let me keep going. So yeah, here's another nice little sequence that he did. As Matt Guerra continues to work out, and he stumbles upon a scuffle, and our hero kind of sneaks around, see what's going on, and it's a scuffle between a punk rocker and two cops. Now I know this might upset some people, and I just want to give you guys a heads up. I am not anti-cop. Okay. So this is not my defund the police comic, because like I said, this book was drawn back in 2011, long before, almost 10 years ago. This story is based off a story that was told to me by a friend of mine that happened to. As you guys know, there are bad apples in the police force. There are some cops who do abuse their power. Not all of them. Okay. So don't come hate me. Don't come and hate at me, because I'm letting you guys know right off the bat that this is what you're going to see in the coming pages might upset some people who are pro cop. Now, I'm just letting you guys know I'm not anti-cop, but this is based on a story told to me by a friend of mine that happened to him. You can see his personal style, not too bad. He had a great style, a very good style, very cartoony. I loved it. I still love it to this day. But like I said, he's not going to, for someone that doesn't like the medium, he has a great deal of understanding of how it works. Right? Right, Max? Absolutely. Absolutely. You're right. That's why I kept trying to tell him, like, dude, you already have it. Like, you don't need any help. You already know what you just pretend like you're the director. Pretend I'm the screenwriter and you're the director, and look what he gave me. But he just doesn't want to do it. He did this as a personal favor for me, which is I was grateful for. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it for my 1-2 punch here for my Indiegogo campaign. But you're right, man. Yeah, he has a great deal of understanding of how the sequential art medium works. But for whatever reason, he just didn't want to do it. I don't know. I don't know. You're from California. I am from California. But I just want to give you guys a heads up, so that way there's no hate coming my way, because, as a writer, you have to reflect what's going on in real life. And this is what happened to my friend, a friend of mine who actually this happened to, and I believe him because he's not the type who lies. And I do believe it because I personally seen police abuse firsthand growing up in the hood that I grew up in. And again, not all cops were bad. There were some great police officers that I got to know growing up in the hood. I'm not saying I was a hood, but they did come around my house a lot because my older brother was an active gang member. I'm not going to say for which gang either, but he was an active gang member. So there was a lot of times when cops did come to my house. Just FYI. That panel was top notch. Absolutely, man. Like just look at it. He just, goes from here, and boom. He just understood the medium. You're absolutely right, Max. Absolutely. So yeah, these two cops get this punk guy. They grab him, and then they start beating him up. And our hero, see, guys, this is crazy. Look what he's putting on his face. And no, he's not Antifa. So don't get on my case, okay? Matt Guerra is not Antifa, but this was just mind blowing. Look what he has on his face. And FYI, my friend Jose is a socialist, but that doesn't bother me because, hey, to each their own is what I say. But There you go. So that's what's going on. So our hero goes and he, beats up the cops. And cop pulls out the gun on Matt. Our hero kicks the gun off his hand and he knocks out the cop. 1, 2, 3 kicks and they're down. And our hero realizes, fuck, I fucked up. And then he tells the punk rocker, "Oh, my advice, run." And that's it. That's the story. And Julio Falkenhagen colored the pages. And Julio Falkenhagen is the inker of No Good Deed. But yeah, I just wanted you guys know, again, it's not anti-cop. I'm not anti-cop. New title. Can you imagine? Oh my God, dude. No. No. Back you. Back. Antifa Dragon. I don't know why I find that so funny. That's hilarious to me. Antifa Dragon. Woo! Curious Comics, man. That's good. That's good. But as you can see, the title's called Fights of Power. To each his own. Right. Actually, now that I think about it, he and I don't talk much anymore. Because I think it's because of politics. I want to say he's still my bud. I consider him family. I told him in the past, like, I don't care about your politics, dude. I care about you, the human being. And I'm a center, lean to the right type of deal. And so he's more on the left, but we're still friends. But he doesn't talk to me as much anymore now because I think I think he doesn't like the fact that I guess inadvertently, I don't know, not inadvertently, I defend Donald Trump at times. I've defended Donald Trump at times in the course of the 4 years that he's been president. Not because I like Donald Trump, but because, like I said, I fight for the truth. I'm a truth seeker. I live by truth. So whenever he will come at me and tell me about, this horrible thing that Donald Trump did, I would tell him, like, he didn't do that. Or he didn't say that. He said this, or he did that. And I will give him, like, articles or links or, like, things so that way he could see that, I'm fair. And he never liked it. He always ignored him. He always, and I think that kind of bothered him a little bit. But I don't know. I still, my phone, my door's always open to Jose, my friend Jose, because he's my friend. He's my brother. I've known him for a long time. We've been through a lot together, and I'll be damned if I let politics separate us. That's not going to happen in my book anyway. He's always welcome in my world, bro. Like the best action directors, he's using wide shots to tell the action, no unnecessary close-ups. I'm really impressed. Exactly, right. Absolutely, Max. Absolutely. He just had a great, fantastic ability to tell a story, and he just never wanted to do it. Never did. And I don't know why. He never gave me a good reason why. Honestly, he never did. Socialism to each from everyone's own. Yeah. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Politics always sucks. They do, Nimprod. They do, man. They really do. Because I miss my friend. I'm not going to lie. I do. I do miss my friend. And, he and I have gone into it at times when he would, espouse his beliefs on mine. But then I will always counter. I will always counter with mine. And what I liked about him was that he always would sit there and be like, yeah, you know what? That's a good point. You have a good point. That's why I liked him for so long. But I think now he's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. But yeah, you're right, dude. Politics do suck. They always suck. But they're part of our lives, unfortunately. We can get along with the other side as long as we don't talk politics. We are human. But when you go full commie, it's hard to stomach that. Yeah. Yeah, that is hard. Especially when they just give in. Because in my experience, you can't really give in full to ideology, because ideology is not supposed to define your life. You are supposed to define your ideology. That's how I see it. And a lot of people, especially my friends, don't really see it that way. they kind of see it as like, no, your ideology makes your life. And I always tell them, no, your ideology does not make your life. You make your ideology. Because the moment, because what I always like to tell people when they always tell me that, and this always gets them, guys. This always gets them. Is I tell them this about the moment civilization crumbles, the moment all this political shit, if this falls, if civilization falls, meaning it goes back, we revert back to nature. Guess what? Your ideology is going to get to you. What's going to get you? Nothing. Zero. Your ideology won't mean shit anymore if civilization falls, because you revert back to nature, right? Survival of the fittest. You will have to survive. You can't say like, oh yeah, I'm a right winger. Okay, well, cool. No, they're gonna say, no, motherfucker, I got my family here, I got my stuff. You get away from me. That kind of thing. And they always that always gets them. He'll come back. I have a friend who saw the light years after being super lib. It'll happen. Hopefully it does. I mean, he's not like super. He's not a super duper socialist, but he does lean towards that. But again, he's a bright guy too, man. Very bright. Very giving. He is very giving. He really is. That's the one thing. One of the reasons why he and I remain friends for so long, is because he's a very giving person. He always is willing to take off the shirt off his back to those who are cold. Pretty much, he puts his money where his mouth is. In other words, so that's why I respect him, and that's why to this day I still respect him. Maybe he's busy, or I don't know. Maybe he's just, I don't know, honestly, because he and I don't really talk about that. When we do talk, it's always about like other stuff, and he kind of stays away from the politics stuff, and I do too, because like I said, he and I still like each other. So yeah, these are his pages, the only pages he ever drew for me. And I wish he would have done more, because I mean, look at these freaking panels, man. Like these panels, the action, the facial expressions. He has it all. He has the whole thing. For me, God is everything. Amen, brother. Amen. I agree. I don't like to turn this into a religious thing, but I agree. Absolutely. I don't like his art style for the Ghetto Dragon, but maybe for something more humorous. Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right about that. So yeah, guys, this is it. The pages he got that he produced for me. Again, fantastic work all around. And before I go, I'm going to show you one last thing. The expressions on the cops is on point. Yeah, let's look at that again. Yeah. And I love the sequence too. This three panel sequence where it gets closer and closer, showing that he's running. He's like sprinting towards them, and they don't have time to react. Yeah, great work. And I especially love this too. This was a great panel, captured it perfectly. But let me find out. Let me get another thing up and going, and then I'm gonna end it, because I think I've gone for quite a while now, and I'm gonna end this right now. Let's see here. So the ideal Ghetto Dragon artist. Yeah, you have to. Hopefully you got the 1-2 punch. If not, it's all right. No biggie. So my ideal Ghetto Dragon artist, and Alan, if you ever listen to this is nothing against you. It just, this artist was the artist that I hope to work with one day, but he didn't want to, because I couldn't pay his page rate, to be honest with you. But I feel like this guy was the perfect ideal Ghetto Dragon artist. And his name is Afuchan. Hold on, I'm trying to see why this isn't working. Okay, here we go. So his name is Afuchan. I saw his work back in 2006, believe it or not. And when I saw his work, it was like a revelation. I was like, this guy draws exactly how I imagine Ghetto Dragon to look like in terms of art style, not so much sequentials. Alan Fletcher he's become the official Ghetto Dragon artist. He will forever be the Ghetto Dragon artist for me now because of how he's grown and how he kind of added his own spin to it, his own flavor. And I do like his pencils. They have like a weird prison art style to them in some in some fashion. But this guy, Afu-chan, just had the aesthetic that I was looking for in the Ghetto Dragon. And it's this guy right here, Afu-chan. He just captured it perfectly. I hope to one day work with him. I really do. Maybe for book 3 or book 4, depending, because I know Alan wants to take a break after book 2, because obviously he's been drawing the Ghetto Dragon for 2 or 3 years now, and so he probably is going to want to break and do something else, which is totally understandable, guys. I totally get it. I do hope I can get my hands on this artist, Afu-chan. But his page rate is too damn high. If I could afford to, I will definitely try to lure him to produce the Ghetto Dragon for book 3 or book 4, depending how successful the future campaigns are. They do pencil and ink. He did everything: pencils, inks, and colors. Yeah, I love it. Beautiful work, absolutely, Max. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. And that's what I mean. He captured exactly how I imagined the Ghetto Dragon to look in my head. Colors, the aesthetic, everything. The panel layouts, I feel like there could have been a bit more fluid, in my opinion. But that's my only gripe. That's my only gripe. That I have. Beautiful work. Yeah, absolutely beautiful work. But in terms of like characters, Nimprod, absolutely Nimprod. I'm telling you, he just captured everything. Captured the essence of Ghetto Dragon, the artistic essence of the Ghetto Dragon, the aesthetic of the Ghetto Dragon. Again, he has a great eye for facial expressions as well, and body language. Just fantastic work all around. And I'm going to show you guys this last chapter. This also will be in the 1-2 punch tier, guys. Just FYI. So what I showed you before with the Jose Espinosa's pencils and not the pencils, but his pages and these pages, these will be involved. These will be in the 1-2 punch tier in the collected edition of my failures, as I like to call it. So here's the second page. And once again, you look at it and you're like, it feels like the Ghetto Dragon. It feels like it could be a cartoon even, if you wanted it to be. Like, this is a storyboard for a cartoon, which is, and hey, I mean, who wouldn't want that? I would love the Ghetto Dragon to be a cartoon. Absolutely. An anime, a Japanese anime. That would be ideal for me. If the Ghetto Dragon ever does blow up, and 5 years from now, 10 years from now, even, it garners the attention of a lot of people, and they want to make it into an animated feature or an animated series. I would probably go for a Japanese anime company for sure, because I think they would do the story justice, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, just look at the characters. I mean, the tattoos, the facial expressions, the action, and the freaking camera angles too are killer. I really love the way look at this panel here. Fantastic all around, really. But like I said, my only gripe was I just wish it was a bit more fluid, the paneling. But again, this was this is our first work together. Afu-chan's and my work working together, and so we're kind of feeling each other out. Anime for martial arts, yes, absolutely. ID Crisis. Absolutely. For sure. I would love that. That would be ideal for me. An anime cartoon for the Ghetto Dragon. And bam, here he is, our hero. And once again, look at that beautiful, beautiful shot. Mwah! Magnifique. I mean, like I said, it's just when I saw his stuff, I was like, man, you have to be the artist for this book. But again, I couldn't afford his page rate. It was too high for me at the time, and it still is to this day. I can't afford his rates; they're too high. But he just delivered, man. Delivered in his story. Yeah, he's good. He's great. He's just on a different level. He's right now. I think he currently is drawing for Image Comics. I think he's drawing for a book. I think Jonathan Lehman is the writer. I can't remember the name of the book. It's a sci-fi comic book that he's currently drawing with John Lehman as the writer of the book. First panel reminds me of Eon Flux. Yeah, it does a little bit. It does to me too. Of the crazy like angles and like the the big feet, and yeah, I always love that. I always feel like comic books, people who draw like that are the ones who make it in comics. Holy shit, tell me about it, bro. Tell me about it. It's top notch. It really is. I really do hope one day I do work with Afu-chan. I think he would take the Ghetto Dragon to a place that would be pretty great, in my opinion. But again, this is not to talk down on Alan Fletcher. This is not to undersell Alan Fletcher, because I'm telling you guys, book 2, you guys have no idea what's coming up for book 2 when it comes to the fight scenes. So if you think Afu-chan's fight scenes are great, wait until you see Alan Fletcher's fight scenes. It's just a whole different level. Not a whole different level. More like your own take. See, here's Afu-chan's take. Here's Alan Fletcher's take. So this is Afu-chan's take, which was still great. I loved it. This panel here was great too. I really loved the way it came out. I just kind of wish there was a border here, in my personal opinion, but it still works, I think. And then and he beats up the guys. And there it is. Our hero stands triumphant, and the palatero, the ice cream man, is grateful. And then our hero's like, we need to get the hell out of here, because he knows what's coming. He knows reinforcements can come at any time. And then it ends with our hero walking our ice cream man to the safe place, so that way he doesn't get attacked again. He gives them back his money that they stole from him, and he was nice enough to leave an extra $100 bill, because that's how our hero is. Our hero is what a hero is supposed to do, right? Do the good things. And there you go. Ghetto Dragon Chronicles was supposed to be shorts, of the different shorts from different artists, as you saw with Jose Espinosa's pages and these pages. It was supposed to be shorts with different artists, but a cohesive story that connects them all together. So that was the idea for the Ghetto Dragon Chronicles, originally back in 2010 or so, roughly around there. But it didn't work out that way. So now I'm going to offer it. I'm offering it now in Indiegogo, and you guys can enjoy it. You guys will enjoy things that I wish I had released, but no. MS-14 and 15 are coming. They are coming, man. They're coming. He's rich. He's not rich per se. I imagine Ghetto Dragon, Matt Guerra, is a frugal man. He is a character who saves his money. He doesn't spend over crazy. He's a very humble dude. But like a warrior who can, kill you in an instant, he doesn't fight unless he has to, which is what you saw in this chapter here, in this little short story here. He defends the weak old man from these bullies who, were robbing them and whatnot. So he decided to help him out because, these ice cream men in the city I grew up in, they were everywhere. They would push these carts all day long, from freaking 11 o'clock in the morning up until 6, just walking up and down the city, pushing the cart, hitting the bell to let everyone know that he's walking by the neighborhood so kids can come out and buy their ice cream. And they would walk all day long. And they would rest, like they would just sit down and rest for like 10 minutes and then keep on doing it. And they didn't make that much money either. So it was kind of it's kind of sad, really, when I look back at it now. So that's why I had him in the story, because I like I said, I want the Ghetto Dragon to be a love letter to not only martial arts movies, but also of the city I grew up in. Frugal Man, my favorite superhero. Oh, that would be a great superhero. Can you imagine? Oh, what kind of powers would he have? Frugal Man. Seriously, what kind of powers would he have? Huh. That'd be something to think about. That'd be a great superhero. The Paleta Man on bike cart in Houston. Oh, so your paleteros in Houston, they're on bikes. Is that right, Curious? Because over here, they're not on bikes. They walk. They walk and push the carts. No bikes over here in California. No way. No way. But yeah, that's it for that one. And I keep saying before I go, I'll show you guys this, I'll show you this, that. But you know what? I'm going to show you one more thing. One last thing, and then I'm going to call it a night. Because it is getting late. I'm hungry, and my wife is calling me down for dinner. My precious wife, who's a lovely, lovely woman who wants to see me fed, wants to make sure that I have what I need, and I need to go down there and do it. So, one last thing I'm going to show you guys. This will also be part of the 1-2 punch, and I just want to show you these 4 pages, these last 4 pages. Not the whole thing, because the whole thing is about 15 pages long, and I don't want to, if you want to see the entire thing, you should check out the short version video that's on my YouTube channel, and that will show you the entirety of these pages, but I'm going to show you just 4 of them. So here we go. Let me we used to ask him for dry ice, and I went home from school. Dude, me too. Me too. My friends and I would ask him for dry ice, and we make little bombs with the dry ice in like 2-liter bottles, soda bottles. Did you do the same thing too? Because we used to do that. We used to ask for dry ice just to blow things up, like try to figure out ways to blow them up, or like pour in hot water or something like that, just to see what would happen. Because we were always curious little kids, little squinkles. Mike Myers had a character called Middle-Aged Man, his sidekick, drinking buddy, and arch nemesis, Independent Widow. Wait a minute, Mike Myers. Are you talking about Halloween? Or are you talking about something else? I don't think I understand that reference. All right, here's the last thing I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to call it a night. This one's drawn by Will Robson. This guy is an artist from London. And he had a pretty good style, I want to say. This is also going to be a part of the 1-2 punch ashcan, so you will be also getting this version of the Ghetto Dragon as well. So I just wanted to let you guys know the kind of books you're getting. And so yeah, this was drawn by Will Robson. Once again, it is colored by Julio Falkenhagen. Again, Julio Falkenhagen played a big factor in he and I have been working together for a long time. So he and I have a long working relationship. And if I ever do reach to the top of the mountain, meaning, because full disclosure, I wouldn't, if Marvel or DC Comics came knocking on my door, I'll answer. Yeah, why not? It's extra money. I got a family to feed. I'm not above it. I'll take it. More than likely, I'll probably bring the people who worked with me because they've been loyal to me all this far. So Julio Falkenhagen will be someone that I will take with me if there's ever an opportunity that comes knocking my way, be it Marvel or DC or even like other publishers. I'm not closed off to anything. I'm open to everything in terms of making a living, earning a living as a writer, for sure. I wish I knew about the definitely would blow some shit up. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, my friends and I, we were bad, man. We were bad growing up in our little neighborhood. And we would, and sometimes, not all the time, sometimes the pateros would give it to us, but then when they got wise, when they started realizing what we were doing with it, they stopped giving it to us. So whatever, it doesn't really matter. It is what it is. Mike Myers was Austin Powers. Oh, are you talking about Austin Powers movies, or are you talking about? Are you talking about like a skit? Oh, SNL skit. Got it. Got it. Okay, gotcha. Sorry. Well, because I know Marvel and DC are getting a lot of flack right now because of their agenda or whatever. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm not gonna. Where are the big two now? Yeah, they're going down. They are going down. So, anyways, let me just finish up here so I get finish up. But so here's the first page of it. It came out pretty good, I think. His layouts were pretty dope, and I did like the colors. I like the way the colors came out. They came out pretty freaking fantastic. And here's the last panel of the page where they're about to get him, and our heroes they think just because I'm small, they will easily win the fight. Good, let them think that because they have know who they're dealing with. See, this is where my rookie mistake as a writer. I should have just let this blank. I shouldn't have had any narration boxes. I should just let the action speak for itself in this instance, because this is overkill, in my opinion. When I read it now, I go, yeah, this is overkill. I did too much of it. So let me zoom out here further. And bam, there it is. I'm going to end it with this page because it is getting late, and my wife just started to shower, and that's a signal of her wanting me to finish. So here's the second page. Great page, great panel. And the one thing I didn't like about this guy's style is that he drew Oso, which is the big dude right there to your right of your screen, which is also a Spanish for bear for my non-speaking my non-Spanish speaking listeners. He drew him way too big, almost cartoonic. I mean, just look at that. Look how huge he is compared to our hero, the Ghetto Dragon. He looks like a child compared to him, but I got it. It was his style. And look at this. Look at that. See, he kicks him, but he catches it, and then he eventually ends up kicking him in the nose. But look how big. Let me zoom in first, so you guys can see. Look how huge that freaking hand is. I remember I would look at that and be like, dude, what the hell? Is he like 8 foot something? Is he Thanos? But I let it go. I let it go because it was my first time working with them, and so that's it. This will also be part of the 1-2 punch tier. But I'm gonna end it here tonight, guys, because it is getting late, and I did say I was gonna get off about 20 minutes ago, and I just went off on a tirade. So I would just like to thank you guys who did join me tonight. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for sticking through this stream to talk about the Ghetto Dragon, talk about pretty much being letting me be raw, letting me be real with you guys, and hopefully the people who watch this after the fact will also get to see a little bit of who Julius Freeman is. And you'll be seeing more of this. I'll be on the live stream tomorrow. I'm going to live stream until the campaign is over, essentially, and try to get as many people to get on the Ghetto Dragon train, and back me for the thanks for listening. Hey, thank you for coming, Nimprod. Really, I follow you on Twitter all the time. You like my stuff, you retweet my stuff. I like your stuff, I retweet your stuff. So I'm happy to see that you actually came over here to check me out, to find out who the person behind the Twitter account is, because I think that's what's missing today is the personalization of the people we follow on social media. I would like to get to know more of the followers that do follow me on Twitter and vice versa. So hopefully this will lead to a good relationship where maybe you could be on the show. If you have something you're working on, dude, let me know. DM me. And if you do have a project on the works, hit me up. I'll have you on the live stream. We'll talk about your project. I have no problem with that. I want to create a indie comics community. And I know they exist already. There's Comicsgate, there's War Campaign, there's Anti-Comicsgate, there's other indie creators, and I know they're all splintering, into their own little groups. But I want to be the one who reaches out for to everyone. Darn giant, absolutely, man, right? Darn giant. So yeah, like I was saying, I want to reach out to everyone because as much as I know I cannot bring people up, too many, like everyone up, because obviously I'm only one person, and on top of that, it's a market, it's a buyer's market, right? So if you later, fellas, hell, like later, Curious Comics, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you coming on the show all the time, and I'm sorry that what Julius Freeman keeps leaving the show. I know, right? Tonight was a great show. It was fun. It was fun. So, as I was saying, I want to reach out to everyone. I know that Roe from More Campaign has gave my project a shout out, and I appreciate that. I really do. And I hope to have, I'm gonna try to have him on the show. Let's see if that stirs any feathers. That like ruffles any feathers if I get Roe from More Campaign on my stream and talk about comics, not shit, but talk comics. As my YouTube channel is called Talking Comics with Julius Freeman, and I do hope to one day, well, I hope to just talk comics all the time, which I have been doing, in which I did tonight. So Nimprod, if you have a project, buddy, leave a DM and we'll talk about your project. And ID Crisis, Dave, will the same thing with you, same thing with Curious, same thing with whomever has a project, whomever has something that they're working on, come on the show. I'll have you on. We'll talk comics, we'll talk shit, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me anymore at this point. At this point, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that I have this channel. I'm grateful that I have you guys watching. I'm grateful that I have people watching after the fact. I'm grateful for all my subscribers, and I'm grateful for all the people who are following me on Twitter and who have contributed to my campaign, The Ghetto Dragon, No Good Deed, Book 1. And let's check it out. Let's check it out one last time to see where we're at. Let's see here. So here we are. 880. Let's refresh. Bam. 894. Once again, Curious Comics, thank you again for backing this. 894. You got me right damn near close to the $1,000 mark, which I hope I do get. So with that said, I will be on here again tomorrow. Same time, 6:00, maybe 6:30, depending on the traffic when I get home. And we'll just continue on doing this until the campaign is over. So I hope you guys have a nice night. Stay safe out there. And party on, dudes, and be excellent to each other. So until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good night. Peace.